Sachidananda Namine Gaur Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavadayate Gaudavya Bhava Bhumestvam Nirdesta Sajana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhoma Shri Jagannatayate Nama Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Namo Mahaviranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauritvishe Nama Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatam Surator Pangor Mama Manda Matirgati Matsarvasya Padambojo Radha Madana Mohano Devyadvindaranya Kalpadrumaraha Srimad Radnagada Simhasanasto Shishirada Shila Govinda Devo Preshtalabi Sevya Manos Madami Shriman Rasarasarambi Vamsivata Tatastita Karshan Venus Vaner Gopir Gopinata Shriye Suna Vrindaye Tulsi Devyaye Priyaye Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavitaye Namo Namah Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhakta Avataram Bhakta Kyam Namami Bhakta Shakti Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. He bowled 360 360 Gurudev कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना मैं शरण पड़ा तेरी चरणों में जगा देना मैं शरण पड़ा तेरी चरणों में जगा देना चरणों में जगा देना चरणों में जगा देना करुणा निधि नाम तेरा करुणा बरसा तू करुणा निधि नाम तेरा करुणा बरसा तू सोई हो ये भाग्य को हे नाथ जगा तू सोई हो ये भाग्य को हे नाथ जगा तू हे नाथ जगा तू हे नाथ जगा तू मेरी नाव भवा डोले उसे पर लगा देना मेरी नाव भवा डोले Kesagara. जागा में अकेला हूँ, तेरे द्वार का भिखारी हूँ, नहीं दिल से भुला देना। गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना। गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना। जय गुरुदेवा, जय गुरुदेवा, गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा, जय गुरुदेवा, जय गुरुदेवा, गुरुदेवा जय, जय गुरुदेवा, जय गुरुदेवा, गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा, जय 'Jai Gurudev'. Yeah. Do you want to sing for Gore?
Yeah, sing for Gore.
Okay. I already know.
You already know, man.
As soon as I saw you walk in, I was like,
Yep, right.
let's go.
I got Gore, man.
39. O he Vaishnava Thakura Doyara Sagara Edase Karuna Kori. O he Vaishnava Thakura Doyara Sagara Edase Karuna Kori. O he Vaishnava Thakura se ci sangherase. Krishna bole, Amito Kanga Krishna Krishna bole, Daitava pache pache, Oh hey Vaishnav Thakur Daya Rasa. You up.
Come in, coach. I've been waiting. Page 66. Emana durmati samsara bitare podiyachinu ami. Emana durmati samsara bitare podiyachinu ami. Tavani jajan kona mahajane, Tavani jajan kona mahajane, Tavani jajane kona mahajane, Pataya dile tu mi, Pataya dile samsara bitare variachinu ami samsara bitare variachinu ami daya kori more patita dekhiya kailo amare giya Ohe dina jan suna balokota Ohe dina jan suna balokota Ulasitaya beia Hemana durmati samsara vitare padiyachinu ami Tomara tarite Sri Krishna Chaitanya Navadipe Avatara Tomahe no kato dinahina jane Tomahe no kota dinahina jane Korile na bhave para Hemana durmati samsara vitare podiyachinu ami Vedera pratijan rakabyara thare rukma varna viprashuta Mahaprabhu name nadiya mathaya Mahaprabhu name nadiya mathaya Sange bhaya vaduta Hemana durmati samsara bitare podiyachinu ami Nanda Sutajini Chaitanya Gosai Nijana me koridana Chaitanya Gosai Nijana me koridana Tarilo Jagat Tumiyo Jaya Tarilo Jagat Tumiyo Jaya Laho nijo patri trana Hemana durmati samsara vitare podiyachinu ami Sekota suniya asachinata tomara karane thala asachinata tomara karane thala Bhakati vinoda khadiya khadiya Bhakati vinoda khadiya khadiya Apanakaini bole Emanam Dharmati Samsara Bitare Podiyachinu Ami Jaya Satchinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Satchinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Gaura Hari Satchinandan Jaya Gaura Nitai He Nitai He Nitai He Nitai He
Do the Nanda Nanda again? Is that what we usually do? Oh.
Usually we've been doing Krishna Deva once a Monday.
Okay.
I don't know if we should like
Ish.
You know it?
do this
It's a good one to
once
get.
every month.
You could get it quick.
Because I think we did last year. Yeah, I don't think we do it every year. We didn't do it in the morning.
343, right?
We do
Is it 343?
342,
Yeah.
Whoever wants.
Huh?
I was prepared to.
Yeah, have you been practicing it?
Nah.
You weren't doing it great. You said it was singing.
I've been practicing that one.
Tell. Well, someone else wants to sing. Should we? Baby? Want to sing Krishna Deva Vanka Monday?
Okay. But what about you?
Huh?
How about you?
How about me? What?
Every time you ask her, she's like, okay.
I know. Yeah, and now you want to go see Thomas? Sure.
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Manasamadukaram apaya nityapada pankaja makarande ma manasamadukaram apaya nityapada pankaja makarande Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Krishna Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Yadyapi samadhisu vidyapi pasyati natavalakara marichi Idami chami nishamata vachuta tadapi kripa bhuta vichim Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Bhakti Yudan Shatyadyapi Madhava Natvai Mamati Ramati
Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Damodarastakam Vardhana Veshe Hari Niskuta Vrinda Vipineshe. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Rishabhanudadi Navashashileke Lalita Saki Gunaramita Vishake. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Karunam Kuru Mai Karuna Varite Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Krishna Jaya Krishna Jaya Krishna Jaya Shri Krishna.
Wait, 290?
That's really sweet. Are we doing just Damodarastakam? Yeah. Okay. Namami Ishvaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasakundalam Kokule Brajamam Yashodhariyo Luka Ladhavamanam Padham Rishtamadhyan Tato Drutya Gopya Rudantam Munitram Yugman Mrijantam Karambodya Yugmena Satankanetram Muhusvasya Kampa Trirekhanta Kanta Stitagraiva Dhamma Taram Bhakti Vadam Namamishvaram Sachidanandarupa Rasat Kundala Gokule Vrajamanam Iti Driksvalilabir Ananda Kunde Svagosham Nimajanta Akyapayantam Tadiyeshitagjeshu Bhaktijitatvam Punaprematasta Shatavriti Vande Namamishvaram Sachidananda Rupa Rasakundala Gokule Vrajamanam Param Deva Moksham Namoksham Vadimva Nachanyam Vineha Parishadhapiha Idam Deva Purnata Gopalabalam Sada me manasya vid astam kemane Namamishvaram Sachidananda Rupa Rasakundala Gokule Vrajamanam Idam te mukam bojam avyakta nila Pitam kuntala snigdha raktaischa gopya Mushchumbitam bimba raktadharame Manasya virashta Alam Lakshalabai Namamishvaram Sachidananda Rupa Rasakundala Gokule Vrajamanam Namo Devadamo Tarananta Vishnu Prasida Prabhu Dukha Jalabdhi Magnam Kripa Drishti Vishati Dinam Vatanu Kriyanishamamagyam Edyakshidrisha Namamishvaram Sachidananda Rupa Rasakundala Gokule Vrajamanam Kuvet Vajaro Bada Uday Vayadva Tayamujita Bhakti Pachakrito Cha Tata Prema Bhakti Svakame Prayacha Namokshe Graho Mesti Damodareha Namamishvaram Sachidananda Rupam Vasakundalam Gokule Vrajamanam Namaste Studame Spuradipti Dame Vadyodarayata Vishvaishadame Namaradhikaya Tadiyapriyaya Namo Nantali Yaya Devaya Tubhyam Namo Radhikaya Tadiyapriyaya Namo Radhikaya Tadiya Namo Radhikaya Tadiyapriyaya Namo Radhikaya Tadiyapriyaya Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tubhyam Devaya Tubhyam Namamishvaram Sachidananda Rupam Vasakundalam Gokule Vrajamanam Namamishvaram Sachidananda Rupam Gokule Vrajamanam Damodara Ratha Damodara Damodara Ratha Damodara Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo
Nice. Gyanantimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaye Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratise Namaha Yam Pravajantam Anapeta Krityam Dvaipayano Virahaka Taruva Juhava Ujre Tritan Mayatayo Taravo Banedush Tangsava Bhuta Hridayam Munimanatosmi Bhaktya Vahinai Aparada Lakshai Chiptascha Kamari Tarangamadye Kripa Mai Swam Sharanam Prapadyam Vrinde Namaste Charanada Vrindam Tavevasmi Najivami Tambina Iti Vigyayarade Tam Nayanam Charanantike Angashamalim Chatabirabito Mandi Kritendi Varam Jalyam Jagurarochitam Vidadatam Padam Bharasya Shriya Vrindaranya Nivasinam Idilasat Tamabhiramodaram Radhaskanda Niveshito Jalabhujam Dhyayem Damodaram Dhyayem Damodaram. First of all, I offer my heartfelt obeisances unto my beloved Holy Master, Nitya Vishom Vishnu Pada Sota Sota Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Also unto Nitya Vishom Vishnu Pada Sota Sota Shishimad Bhakti Vigyan Bharti Goswami Maharaj. Nitya Vishom Vishnu Pada Sota Sota Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And our entire Rupanuga Varga, Param Gurudev, Bhakti Vigyan Kesha Goswami Maharaj. And our guardians on this path of the Bhakti. And by their mercy, they have reinstated Navadip Dham, Rajmandal Parikama, and have kept it going for so many years for our benefit and for our advancement in bhakti, and to show us our destination, our goal of life. So in this month, so many pastimes have happened in this month, so many beautiful pastimes like Krishna, Mother Yashoda binding Krishna. And actually, Shamarani Didi said the other day, Anita and I posed for the monkeys. It was so mystical because we were living in Govardhan, and Gurudev's Govardhan temple, and it was getting built at that time, and we were in the process of doing the wall paintings. And every day, Gurudev would go sit on the grass, and he like around 4:30 in the afternoon to chant. He would sit, and then he would walk on the grass, and then he would sit, walk on the grass. And so it was like chanting time with Gurudev. We would all go out and we'd sit on these stairs with him and chant japa. And it was just before, like a week before Radhastami. And when he would go back to his room, there was only like 40 or 50, like 30 or 40 of us living there. So it was very intimate. And when he would walk back to his room, he would like stop at everyone and ask how they are or give his blessings. And then he stopped at Charu Chandrika Didi, who does plays. And he said, "Oh, you can do a play for Radhastami?" And then Charu said, "But Gurudev, none of the drama players are here. All the actresses were from Badger." And he's like, "Oh, none of the drama players are here yet." And then Gurudev looked at me and Anita and Sukha, like just a few of us, random girls. And he said, "Oh, so many girls are here." And so we did a play, but it was just amazing because that same day, it was the day that we posed for the monkeys. And then that afternoon, he asked about a play. So I thought that it was very mystical timing. Anyways. And Anita, she also posed not posed, but Didi always copies, like she has references. So she had Anita go to the market, and it's different. Like the market in Govardhan is very intense. And so she had her go get yogurt and then like put it down on a tarp and make feet prints. I think it's probably Anita's favorite seva she's ever done. She was in bliss. And then she made feet prints, and then we like kept it on the corner as Shamarani was painting. So it was really fun. Good times. I have this video. I could show a piece of it sometime. It was crazy. The painting was done for the Sri Damodarastakam, the Hindi version of Damodarastakam that came out first, and it was going to press, and the book was already at press. They were just waiting for the painting to be able to do the cover, and so Gurdev was like, he was so heavy. Shamrani's like, when are you gonna finish it after I die? Like he was, and so the day we were supposed to go to Delhi, like to get it scanned, the painting scanned, our taxi was coming at like, I don't know, 7 or 8 in the morning. And that night, I took rest, and there was no crows. And then when I came in, Manjri and Shamrani Didi were working on this painting. And when I came in the morning, Manjri and Shamrani were a mess. Like they were like, just like paint on themselves, and they were giddy as like little kids. They stayed up all night. And yeah, Manjri put in the crows, actually, which is a very important part of the pastime. So yeah, they worked all night, and then the taxi was there waiting for us to leave. But they were just like painting, painting, painting. And Anita's like packing all the paints, and it was really pretty ecstatic time. So one of the many amazing pastimes that happened in this month. And so many more, but especially also so many appearance and disappearance days of our acharyas, like our Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Vaman Maharaj, and Srila Trivikram Maharaj, and Shri Rup Siddhanti Maharaj, and Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, and Gorkishore Babaji Maharaj, and Bhakti Dayat Madhav Goswami Maharaj. So many chose to appear or disappear during this month, and one such, was it appearance or disappearance? Let me see. We missed yesterday the appearance day of Bhakti Gaura Vaikanas Goswami Maharaj. So, did anybody read anything?
No, but I share because I remember some things about him.
Please, yeah. Great.
I think I'm remembering right. He had like some really cool like mystical yogi things, right? Right. Okay. Yeah. There's like a pastime of his where he and a friend would hang out at a graveyard, and they used mantras to make a dead man's hand lift up. I mean, there's probably more to him, but of course I remember that story. Was it the one where they asked him to live in the place? There's a pastime where he was passing through a town and he needed a place to stay. And then they decided to send him to the place that was haunted by a ghost, which is like totally, like really not cool. Because there was a man-eating ghost, and it was known throughout the village that nobody lives the night after spending a night in this place. And so he's in the place, and then of course the ghost comes at night, and the ghost is like really ferocious, and I forgot what he does or what he says, but he brings the ghost to like, the ghost is like, nobody can save me, and he's like, whoa, what's required? He's like, it's impossible, nobody does it anymore in this age. He's like, you have to follow Ekadasi purely, which means not only is it Nirjal on the day of Ekadasi, but the day before Ekadasi, you fast except for one meal, and then the day after Ekadasi, you do the same thing, just one meal. And the day of Ekadasi, you're up 24 hours chanting, remembering, hearing. And he said, no problem, I'll do that. And he offered one of his Ekadasis so for this ghost to be liberated, and he was liberated. And the next day, the townspeople came by, and they're like, you stayed there. And he's like, yeah, why? The merchant who had told him was, not friendly, but everybody else in town's like, oh my God, I can't believe you stayed there, but I can't believe he told you to stay there. He said, there's a man-eating ghost who lives there. And he goes, actually, I don't remember what he said back, but, he understood, and did he relate to them the story about how he liberated the ghost using his Ekadasi? I don't remember what he said to the village people. Oh, I don't remember. I can look it up. But basically, they all knew that there was this man-eating ghost there, and that he had live to tell the tale. And that also speaks to the power of one Pyrrhic Odyssey. It's like really, apparently really extremely powerful.
Oh, when he came out, they couldn't believe it. He said what he had to say, and I said what I had to say. I delivered him by giving the fruit of observing just one Ekadasi. Now he's left. No, now there'll be no more problems. Yeah. Jai. So, I'll just read a couple passages more in his honor. He's one of the senior-most disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he was born in a very elite family. And he was very brilliant. So I'll read a couple. This is a good one. Simplicity is necessary in visiting the Dham. During his birth name was Ujwaleshwar Rath. During his travels, Sri Ujwaleshwar Rath went to Sridham Vrindavan and then to Navadvip, where he arrived in Sridham Mayapur. There he received darshan of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. As fortune would have it, the annual Sri Navadvip Dham Parikrama was about to commence, and so Sri Ujwaleshwar Rath decided to stay and set out his bedding under a jackfruit tree. In those days, Parikrama Prasad consisted of locally harvested fat grain brown rice, which Sri Ujwaleshwar Rath was unable to eat. He did not mention this to anyone. Instead, he filled up on broken biscuits stirred into water. Although Sri Ujwaleshwar Rath was a learned scholar, born to an elite family of Brahmins, as well as an esteemed Rajguru, he had not the slightest sense of self-importance. We can infer from his example the mentality we should maintain when visiting the Dham. It's appropriate, apropos for the day, for the month. Oh, here's when he meets the impact of a single statement from Srila Prabhupada. And this Srila Prabhupada refers to Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. One day, during Sri Navadvip Dham Parikrama, Sri Ujwaleshwar Rath was crossing the Saraswati River by boat to go to Sri Gojumadvip. Srila Prabhupada was also in the boat, along with several sannyasis and brahmacharis. Sri Ujwaleshwar Rath had a habit of chewing pan, and so, due to the force of habit, he spat into the Saraswati. Srila Prabhupada saw this and immediately said, "We regard Saraswati to be identical to Ganga." Srila Prabhupada's statement was so powerful that Sri Ujwaleshwar Rath began to reproach himself. He thought, people go through so much trouble and spend so much money just to catch. Hey, welcome. Krishna. What's your name? Olga. Welcome. You've been here before, I think. Oh, wow. Welcome. Sweet. So we're just reading a little bit about one of our saints whose appearance day it is. Like, what year was? Like 60. So we're, anyways. She is venerated. Oh, so the Ganga. He thought, people go through so much trouble and spend so much money just to catch a glimpse of the Ganga and bathe in her sacred waters. She is venerated by demigods, sages, seers, and great personalities. Because of my bad habit, I've made the offense of spitting into her waters. Moreover, I've made a sadhu unhappy by doing this. As he thought this, he removed his box of pan from his pocket and threw it into the Saraswati. He vowed, from this day forth, I shall never again take pan as long as I live. This anecdote teaches us the real way to listen to and sincerely follow the words of sadhus. I'll read two more. Surrendering his life at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. During a short few-day visit to Sridham Mayapur, Sri Ujwaleshwar Rath heard Srila Prabhupada's charismatic Harikatha and the glories of all the places visited during Sridham Navadvip Parikrama. Through this, he internalized Gaudiya Vaishnavism's current of immaculate precepts, and thereby realized that his erudition and respectable position as a Rajguru were worthless. Without further delay, he accepted the shelter of Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet and received Harinam and Diksha from him. My Shiksha Guru, Shri Krishna Keshav Brahmachari, also received Diksha on that same day. Having observed Shri Ujwaleshwara's Ras approach to performing bhajan, his service-oriented attitude, and his boundless conviction, Srila Prabhupada awarded him sannyas about 2 years after his Diksha, and he personally chose his sannyas name, Shri Bhakti Gaurav Vaikanis Maharaj. Srila Saraswati Thakur had 18 sannyasis, and so he's one of them. Out of love. So there's a list like of sannyasi names. I don't know, it was 108 or it's 108 names. And so a lot of times the sannyasi can look at that list and choose their name. Yeah. And so Prabhupada chose it for him. Many of Srila Prabhupada's disciples were astonished to see Shri Ujwaleshwar Rath receive sannyas within such a short span of time, especially because Srila Prabhupada was known to withhold Diksha from many devotees, even those who had been waiting several years. Let's see. An extraordinary display of simple-heartedness. Once, Guru Maharaj took so Guru Maharaj, it means Srila Bhakti Maharaj's guru, Bhakti Dayat Madhav Maharaj. Once, Guru Maharaj took Srila Vaikanis Goswami Maharaj by plane from Calcutta to preach in Guwahati. While in the air, Srila Vaikanis Goswami Maharaj told Guru Maharaj, "Maharaj, I need to pass urine." "Then go to the bathroom and relieve yourself," Guru Maharaj replied. Srila Vaikanis Goswami Maharaj innocently said, "Maharaj, our Guru Parampara has instructed us, Jive Saman Diba Jani Krishna Adistan, respect all living entities, knowing that Krishna is present in every one of them. Krishna dwells as the Supersoul, Paramatma, in all living entities. How then could I possibly pass urine in this airplane?" "What do you mean?" Guru Maharaj asked. "The urine I pass will end up on someone's head when it falls from the hole in the plane's bathroom, and this will become a serious impediment to my spiritual progress." Guru Maharaj clarified that this is not the way it works. Srila Vaikanis Goswami Maharaj then got up and went to the bathroom without worry. So sweet. Vaishnavas are so pure and so innocent. Okay, we'll read one more and then we'll move on to Damodarastakam. His gentle yet firm manner of pointing out faults. Srila Vaikanis Goswami Maharaj once found an error regarding the date of an Ekadasi listed in the Srinavadvip calendar, published by Sri Srimad Bhakti Kushum Shraman Goswami Maharaj. When he noticed the mistake, he first consulted with Sri Srimad Bhakti Vicharya Yavar Goswami Maharaj, Sri Srimad Bhakti Alok Paramahamsa Maharaj, and Sri Srimad Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. When the error was unanimously confirmed, he proceeded to draft a letter, which he gave to my godbrother Sri Bhakti Surhit Damodar Maharaj and me to deliver to Srila Shaman Goswami Maharaj. When I read his letter, I appreciated his ability to be simultaneously firm and gentle while pointing out another's honest mistake. He wrote, "Shripad Shaman Maharaj, if you assign Ekadasi to this particular date in your calendar, then how will the verse of Sri Hari Bhakti Vilas that describes how one should properly calculate Ekadasi titis hold true?" Srila Shaman Maharaj later replied that he regretted the error and would rectify it by pasting a sticker that mentioned the correction on all the undistributed calendars. In those days, devotees were not ashamed when others pointed out their shortcomings. Rather, they would accept their flaws with grace. The model nowadays, however, is quite different. Although many devotees present themselves as Vaishnavas externally, they experience no shame in behaving in a manner unbefitting a Vaishnava when their impropriety is exposed. They perceive it as a personal assault to their prestige and self-respect, even though they may internally concede their shortcomings after careful introspection. Even when the scriptures and the precedents set by exalted personalities do not substantiate their views, such persons continue to defend their transgressions. By maintaining a stubborn attitude, they simply inflict misfortune upon themselves. Yeah, there's so much here. Um, Let me see if it talks about his disappearance. No. Okay, last one. A prediction. When Srila Vivekananda Goswami Maharaj's mat was under construction, he made a prediction of sorts when he told his disciples, "Do not worry about money. Someone will come and make all the necessary arrangements on his own accord." Let's read that again. Do not worry about money. For the left brain, right brain. Someone will come and make all the necessary arrangements on his own accord. Simply engage in Bhagavad Bhajan. Srila Maharaj left this world shortly afterward, making this prediction, and his words proved true. A beautiful mat was built, thus fulfilling the statement, Satyam Vidatu Nija Britya Bhashitam. Bhagavan upholds his devotees' words by making them come true. Although it has been over 50 years since Srila Vivekananda Goswami Maharaj entered Nitya Leela, when I think of him, it is as though I can see him standing before me. Jai Shri Srimad Bhakti Gaura Vivekananda Goswami Maharaj ki. Now we're auspicious because it's, as we hear over and over and over again, if we remember the Vaishnavas on their days, auspiciousness will come, but if we don't remember them, then inauspiciousness. So thanks to Srila Bhakti Maharaj, we have some beautiful description of his beautiful life.
The 108 names are in Srila Prabhupada's Gaudiya Kantahar.
Really? Wow. Nice.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So, are you familiar a little with Krishna? Okay, nice. So this month is Kartik month, and the month of Krishna being bound by his mother. Nice. So there's this beautiful book called Damodarastakam. There's a song we sing every day. Okay, so you know. So we're reading this together every night, and we're on the first verse still. Others can read. We'll just recap that. Last night we were hearing how there's three main verses of Krishna's beauty. Right? One by Lord Rama, one by who speaks the first one? Yistriyan.
Lord Rama is the first one, and then
Who's this?
the wives of the Brahmins.
The wives of the Brahmins, and then the third and most best of all is the gopis in Venu Geet, Paharpidam Natavarvapu. So Srila Gurudev says that if you take all the beauty in the entire world and you put it in one side, it still cannot defeat how beautiful Krishna is. So we can just read the first verse, say the first verse, and then somebody can read. Namami Shwaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasa Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Violukala Davamanam Paramristya Madhyanto Todrupya Gopya. So it looks like we left off on page 15. Did we leave off right after Paharpidam?
We left off on
Or right after the Kastriyanga verse?
15, the top of 15.
Top of 15? Okay.
There is yet another description.
Okay. Does someone want to read? Jay, can you pass that to Ru?
Hare Krishna. There is yet another description of his beauty within the 5 chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam that recount Rasa Leela. The gopis, allured by the bewildering potency of Sri Krishna's flute song, left their homes in the middle of the night and went to Sri Krishna. Yet, when they came before him, he teased them and told them to return to their homes. At that time, the gopis described the sweetness of Sri Krishna's beautiful form. Just going to read the translation. Okay. Oh, Sri Samasundar, from your flute comes the most endearing, slowly rolling melodies. Your beautiful form brings auspiciousness upon the entire universe. Moreover, upon seeing your beautiful form, even the bodies of the cows, birds, trees, and deer erupt with horripilation. After hearing the sweet melodies of your flute and beholding your captivating form, is there any woman at all, the three worlds, who would not become attached to you and, leaving aside all proper conduct and shyness, deviate from her religious principles? That's the translation. Upon hearing the sound of Sri Krishna's flute, the gopis of Vraj forgot everything, their fear, hesitation, patience, dignity, and so forth. Regardless of the condition they were in, they eagerly ran to meet Sri Krishna. Without even calling their dearmost gopi girlfriends, the Prana Priya Sakis, they ran to him. Each gopi thought, Sri Krishna is calling only me. When Sri Krishna saw that the gopis, who were the incomparable treasures of Vraj, had come to him, he tried to bewilder them with his delightful art of speaking. Oh, beautiful cowherd girls, why have you come here alone in this time of night? Have you come to see nature's splendor and the beauty of this forest? If so, then return to your homes now. The duty of a lady of noble descent is to serve her husband, father, brothers, and friends. Even if her husband is bad-natured, unfortunate, foolish, old, diseased, or poor, her duty is to serve him. Go back to your homes. Hearing these unpleasant words from their dearmost beloved, the gopis became morose and pained at heart. They answered, Dear Shamasundar, your advice is correct, but by instructing us, you have become our guru. And one should first serve one's guru. Now please accept our service. Till this moment, our hearts were absorbed in household duties, but now you have stolen our hearts. How can we return to our homes? When Sri Krishna was concluding his manifest pastimes, he called upon Sri Uddhava and told him, Soon I will leave you behind in this world to propagate Bhagavad Dharma. After Sri Krishna actually disappeared from this world, Sri Uddhava sent out for Vraj, overwhelmed by separation from him. On the way, he met Sri Vidura and told him that Sri Krishna had concluded his pastimes. In that context, Sri Uddhava describes Sri Krishna's beautiful form as follows. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 3:2-12, and is translated, By the power of his internal potency, Yogamaya, Sri Krishna exhibited his original eternal form within the mortal sphere, a form which is perfectly suited for his human-like pastimes, a form so captivating that even he is astonished when he sees himself. His beautiful form is the embodiment of the topmost limit of exceedingly good fortune and opulence. Indeed, ornaments usually beautify the person who wears them, but Krishna's form is so beautiful that he actually beautifies his ornaments. In other words, compared to all other divine forms in existence, the beauty of his form is supremely divine. Furthermore, when Sri Krishna disappeared from the gopis at the time of the Rasa Leela, the gopis sang about their separation from him in deep lamentation. Hearing the kirtan, Sri Krishna, unable to restrain himself, again appeared in the mist. Srila Shukadeva Goswami describes his beauty at that time. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:32-2. Translated, when Sri Krishna appeared before the gopis, his lotus face blossomed with a mild smile. A beautiful forest flower garland decorated his neck and chest, and a yellow cloth graced his shoulders. He even churned the mind of the god of love, who agitates the minds of all, for he is directly the original transcendental god of love. He says, Pitambaradara. At first, Krishna was clasping the yellow cloth he wore as an upper garment between his hands. The import of this is as follows. When Sri Krishna saw the gopis' mood of separation from him, he wiped away their tears with his yellow cloth. He realized that he had given so much trouble to his dear beloveds and thus he considered himself an offender. Begging pardon for his offense, he then placed part of his yellow garment between his teeth, as though biting a piece of straw, a sign of great humility. The appearance of his beautiful form at that time was capable of agitating the minds of millions and millions of cupids. When Srila Shukadev Goswami spoke this verse, he became absorbed in the moods of the gopis. In that state, forgetful of himself, he became perturbed and addressed Sri Krishna as Sauri. By calling
This is the one of the evidences of why they say, why isn't Radharani's name mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam? It's because Sukadeva Goswami, if he were to mention, he wouldn't have been able to keep speaking, because he's here. It just says because he's in the mood of a gopi. So if he's talking about his Radharani, he wouldn't have been able to function and speak.
In that state, forgetful of himself, he became perturbed and addressed Sri Krishna as Sauri. By calling Krishna Sauri in the mood of an irritated gopi, Sri Shukadev Goswami was saying, "You are cruel like a warrior. You are not from a soft-hearted cowherd dynasty. Otherwise, you would not have left all of us." When Sri Krishna, manifesting all his splendor of his incomparable form, appeared in the assembly of gopis, they became completely overwhelmed with love for him. The love that Sri Bhagavan's associates have for him within their hearts determines how much his immaculate beauty is revealed. Sri Bhagavan manifests his personal sweetness according to the greatness of his associates' love for him. Sri Shukadev Goswami further clarifies this. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:32-14, translated, "As Bhagavan Sri Krishna sat among thousands upon thousands of gopis who are all worshipping him, he appeared so splendid. All the beauty throughout the three worlds, all the beauty ever manifest in the past, all the beauty manifest now, and all the beauty that will ever manifest in the future is only a dim glow from the drop of Sri Bhagavan's own beauty. He alone is the abode of all beauty." Sri Narayan is also beautiful. Attracted by his beautiful form, Lakshmi remains engaged in the service of his worshipable feet day and night. However, as soon as she remembers the sweetness of Sri Krishna within her heart, she longs to see his sweet form directly and resolves, "Since I cannot obtain entrance into Rasa Leela, I will watch it from a distance." That is the reason for this eagerness. It has been said that the incomparable form that Sri Krishna manifested within the Rasa Leela in the assembly of gopis was never exhibited anywhere else. What is that form like? His form churns the mind of even Cupid, who agitates all the minds of all, and for he is directly the original transcendental Cupid. In the first verse of Sri Damodarastakam, Sri Satyavrata Muni describes the very same enchanting form of Sri Krishna as a 2.5-year-old baby running away from Mother Yashoda. As he fled from his mother, he repeatedly looked behind him with terrified glances. His earrings shimmered on his cheeks, and his neck was decorated by 3 graceful lines. Other than the auspicious gold cord around his waist and the pair of ankle bells clasping his worshipable lotus feet, resonating with unsurpassed charm, his tiny form was completely naked. The conclusion is that the manifestation of Sri Krishna's beauty is relative to his devotees' love for him. Love for him is also established by Srila Sanatana Goswami in his Sri Brihad Bhagavatam Amrita. The unique qualities of Sri Bhagavan's beauty manifest in accordance with the unique qualities of his associates. In order to bestow his mercy upon the souls who were indifferent to him and to bless them with Vraj Prema, the love exhibited by the eternal inhabitants of Vraj, Sri Krishna manifested his beautiful form as a fresh youth. The best of dancers and dressed as cowherd boys holding a flute in his hand. This is This very form of Sri Krishna is the origin and basis of all his forms in Mathura and Dwarka, and is also the source of all other avatars. Even though the main subject of Srila Sanatan Goswami's commentary on this verse is Sri Krishna's childhood pastimes, he has quoted a description of Sri Krishna's beautiful form exhibited at the time of Rasa Leela in order to convey the extraordinary glory of that particular form. Should I continue or should somebody else pass the mic?
Page 19. Chapter 9.
In chapter 9 of the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a description of Sri Damodar Lila. Many gopis constantly complain to Sri Yasoda, "Your son steals from our houses and eats our butter. Oh Yasoda, worse than that, he throws milk, yogurt, and butter everywhere. If he actually ate it, it would be all right. But he doesn't. He smashes our pots of milk and yogurt and unties the calves. How can we tolerate this daily loss of milk and yogurt any longer? We have all decided to leave your settlement of Raj and live elsewhere." Mother Yasoda heard these complaints every day. She began to wonder, could it be that my darling boy finds the butter that comes from his own home not tasty? Is it sour? Is that why he doesn't eat it, but instead sneaks into the houses of other gopis to steal their butter? If this is the case, then today I will prepare sweet butter for my dear son with my own hands. He will surely eat that and not go to other houses to steal butter. It was the festival of Dipavali. So she gave leave to all of her servants and maidservants. She personally milked Mangala, Ganga, Pisangi, and other cows, and then boiled the milk until it started condensing. When it was the right warmth, she added yogurt culture to it, and then, in the early morning, she personally set to churning the freshly cultured yogurt. As she was churning, she became completely immersed in love for her darling son and began to sing. As the churning rod rotated back and forth, it made a deep reverberating sound, tik, like the large drum head of a mridanga, and also a tapping sound, dan, like the small drum head. Thus, the full sound of tik dan, tik dan. The meaning implied is that any soul who does not worship and remember Sri Radha Krishna leads a life that is so dull, done, that he is no better than an animal. Such a soul is condemned. Deek. As she churned, the ringing of her bangles sounded like ringing of kartals. Lost in thoughts of her darling son, she started to sing. In the Stotram, Sri Bilvamangala Thakur has also described how Mother Yasoda began to sing in this pastime. Kvachit prabhate dadi purana paratre nikshipya mantam uvati mukhandam alokya gangnam vividam karoti govinda damodar madhaveti. Once at dawn, as Yasoda Devi was about to place the churning rod in a pot of yogurt, she gazed upon her child, Mukunda. At once she became overwhelmed with love and sang this wonderful song. "O my Govinda, my Damodar, O my dear Madhava." Sri Krishna, the darling son of Mother Yasoda, forever begs parental love from his mother. Mother Yasoda was completely absorbed in the moods of her song and was brimming with affection for Krishna. When he heard her singing, her voice saturated with love for him, He could not restrain himself. He began to think, every day, Mother sings little songs with great tenderness to awaken me. But today, she has not come, and I am so hungry. The Supreme Lord is everything, of the Supreme Lord of everything, who is independently blissful and self-satisfied, Atma, Ram, and Aptakam, was hungry. He began to cry loudly for his mother's breast milk. When, dear Lord, my dear Lord, how glorious you are. On this day, the effect of Sri Krishna's crying remained unknown to anyone. It simply merged into the fathomless ocean of Mother Yashoda's parental affection, for she was so absorbed in her Sankirtan that she was unable to hear him. With great difficulty, Kanaya, who was lying on his belly, moved little by little to the edge of his bed and then got down. Rubbing his eyes and crying, he somehow made it to where his mother was churning, tottering like an intoxicated elephant along the way. He caught hold of the churning rod and stopped it from twirling. Mother Yasoda's absorption broke. Seeing her darling son at the side, she immediately sat him up on her lap and began breastfeeding him. Just by seeing her dear Krishna, her limbs became decorated by all of the Ashtasattvika bhavs, the 8 types of bodily transformations arising from ecstatic love of God. Furthermore, the special emotion of motherly affection manifested, namely, milk began to flow from her breasts. According to the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, baby Krishna is the Vishaya Alamban of Vatsalya Ras. That is, he is the object upon which motherly love depends. His mother, Sri Yasoda, is the Ashraya Alamban, or the reservoir of love for him. Baby Krishna's gorgeous face is the Udipan, or the stimulus that rouses motherly love. And Mother Yasoda's tears, the standing on end of her bodily hairs, the flowing of milk from her breasts, and so on are the Sattvika bhavs, or transformations of ecstasy in her body. All of these ingredients of love, namely Vaibhav, Vishaya Alamban, Ashraya Alamban, and Udipan, Anubhav, deep emotions that are realized through outward expressions on the body, and so forth, then combined with Mother Yashoda's own Staibhav, namely Vatsalya Rati, and began to make her relish Vatsalya Ras. Suddenly, the milk started boiling over as if it were thinking, Mother Yasoda's breasts are the source of all the milk contained within all of the universes. Her supply of breast milk is inexhaustible, and the stomach of baby Kanaya is not at all small. All the universes can fit inside it. She will never tire of breastfeeding him, and he can drink forever. In that case, I will remain bereft of the opportunity to serve Sri Krishna. Therefore, it is pointless to maintain my worthless life, a life devoid of service. Thinking like this, the milk began to sacrifice himself into the fire. Practicing devotees, sadhaks, should also have this type of anxiousness. They should think, if while performing bhajan, we do not gain even a glimpse of Sri Bhagavan or realize the mercy of his pastimes and divine abode, then our lives are worthless. Deprived of seeing Sri Gaurasundar and his associates, Sri Narottam Das Thakur says, Pasane Kutiba Mata Anale Pashiba Karanga Gunera Nidhi Kota Gele Pabo. Prarthana song on page 41 in the songbook. I shall dash my head upon a stone or enter into a blazing fire. Where will I find the treasure house of all wonderful qualities? Sri Gauranga. In this regard, it is important to carefully deliberate on Srila Rupa Goswami's definition of Uttama Bhakti, or pure devotion. Anya Bilasita Sunyam Dhyan Kamadi Anarvitam Anukulyena Krishna Nushilam Bhaktir Uttama. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1111. When bhakti is performed without any other desire than that aspiration to bring happiness to Krishna, when it is not covered by the endeavor to accumulate dry knowledge, result-oriented work, or any other practice for attaining a goal unrelated to him, and when it is cultivated solely with a favorable disposition toward him and for his benefit, then it is Uttama Bhakti, supremely pure devotion. In this verse, the characteristics which describe bhakti are divided into two categories, Swarup Lakshana, and Tatashta Lakshan. The first category, Swarup Lakshan, includes the intrinsic qualities of bhakti. The second category, Tatashta Lakshan, includes the marginal qualities of bhakti. To communicate how our bhakti can be perfected, the modifier anukulena, with a favorable disposition, has been used because one cannot perform bhakti with an unfavorable disposition. That is to say, one who acts in opposition to Sri Krishna cannot be performing bhakti. Certain exalted, realized personalities have stated that anikulena means the tendency to perform activities that bring pleasure to Sri Krishna, and that the inclination to please him with a favorable disposition is bhakti. However, if this latter definition is accepted, one of two faults may arise. Some things are encompassed by this definition which should not be included within the description of bhakti. This is called adivyapati dosha, the fault of overextending the definition. Similarly, it excludes things that should be included within the description. This is called avyapti dosha, the fault of underextending the definition. For example, in the wrestling match, Chanura, Mushtika, and other demons were striking Sri Krishna's limbs. Sri Krishna was certainly enlivened by their attack and began to relish the mood of being a great hero, Viraras. How can the attacks of the demons be understood as pleasurable for Sri Krishna? The answer to this is found in part of the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 13, verse 30. Manasvinam iva satsam prahara. Although in the eyes of ordinary people, a terrifying battle with an enemy seems torturous, it is in fact exhilarating for the fighters. In that case, if we conclude that the demons' horrible attacks during the wrestling match were acts of bhakti because they gave pleasure to Sri Krishna, then the fault of ativyapti, overextension of the definition, arises. Even though these malevolent endeavors caused Sri Krishna to feel pleasure, which is apparently the quality of bhakti, they were actually strictly opposed to bhakti. Conversely, considering the example of Mother Yasoda's breastfeeding Sri Krishna as he lay on her lap, at the same time the milk she had kept on the stove was boiling over into the fire. After taking Krishna, who was not yet satisfied, off of her lap, she went to save the milk. This caused him to experience such displeasure. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 9, verse 6, Sanjata Kopa Spiritarunadaram. His tiny reddish lips began quivering from anger. Mother Yasoda's action greatly displeased Sri Krishna, but if we conclude that her endeavor does not come within the definition of bhakti, then the fault of avyapti, underextension of the definition, arises. The nature of exalted devotees, Mahabhagavatas, is that they want to engage every soul in Krishna's service. When Mother Yasoda saw that the milk was sacrificing himself into the fire by boiling over because he was bereft of Krishna's service, she immediately removed her darling boy from her lap and tried to save it. With both of his hands, baby Krishna firmly caught hold of his mother's breast, and with his legs, he clung to her waist. He held on to his mother in this way with all his might. Putana, who had the strength of 10,000 elephants, could not free herself from his grip. But in the presence of Mother Yasoda's Vatsalya Prem, Sri Krishna, the possessor of all potency, could not stop her from putting him down. With one hand, Mother Yasoda easily pushed him off of her breast. Then she removed him from her lap, sat him down nearby, and went to save the milk. The Siddhanta, perfect philosophical conclusion, behind this incident is that Mother Yasoda's love for Sri Krishna is much greater than his love for her. Indeed, Sri Krishna comes under the control of her love. In the presence of this motherly love imbued with deep possessiveness, all of Bhagavan's unlimited, majestic potencies are defeated. Here, another point is to be considered. Although the superlative manifestation of Sri Krishna's unlimited opulence, Aishvarya, is found only in Vraj, it remains submerged in the fathomless ocean of sweetness contained within the Vraj pastimes. That is to say, even when Sri Krishna's infinite opulence is fully revealed, it easily fits within the all-accommodating embrace of Vraj's sweetness. Mother Yasoda splashed cold water into the pot of boiling milk, as if to pacify it. "I am going to use you in Krishna's service right now," she said. "Don't give up your life like this." Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In the other room, however, baby Krishna was in a fit of rage. He picked up a stone pestle lying nearby and hit the base of the earthen pot of yogurt that his mother was churning and made a hole in it. A thick stream of yogurt began flowing all over the floor as Krishna watched with fascination. Although he was captivated by the sight of the stream of yogurt spilling onto the ground, it made him remember his mother. Consequently, he fearfully ran into a nearby room that had a doorway leading outside. Hanging from the ceiling was a pot of butter that enticed his mind. He climbed on top of an overturned grinding mortar and started eating the butter out of the pot, and at the same time feeding some of it to the crows and monkeys who had come. When Mother Yashoda returned to the pot of yogurt to continue her churning, she saw the stream of yogurt flowing from the broken pot. She thought, "This is surely the work of my clever son." Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says in his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna was highly skillful in breaking the earthen pot, for he did not make a sound, nor did his ornaments. Nor did he make any sound in the other room as he climbed on top of the grinding mortar to take butter. Indeed, this could only have been the accomplishment of her intelligent son. By the tiny footprints of yogurt on the floor, the sweet smell of butter coming from the room nearby, and various other clues, Mother Yashoda easily guessed. My beloved son has entered that very room. Peering inside, she saw Sri Krishna standing on the grinding mortar, stealing fresh butter. She took a stick in her hand to punish her clever child and tiptoed into the room like a cat. But as soon as she entered, the crows and monkeys fled. Sri Krishna immediately understood, "Mother has come." He leapt from the grinding mortar and fled outside towards the royal lane. Mother Yashoda also ran onto the road, pursuing her son. The silk cloth on Mother Yashoda's somewhat full, bluish limbs fluttered as she swiftly ran, and the beautiful, fragrant flowers that were woven into her braid began to fall, as if to say, "Mother, you are not alone, we are also with you." "Catch him, quickly!" Mother Yashoda's pace exceeded Krishna's, and thus she caught him from behind. If we are to obtain Sri Krishna, then we must love him more than he loves us. Only then can he be controlled. We will also have to love him with great intimacy, Vishramba Bhav, and with the same simple natural attachment, Lokik Sambandhavat, as the residents of Braj, especially the Gopas and their wives. Sri Krishna may be pleased by love that is mixed with the moods of unreverence, Aishwarya, but he cannot be controlled by it. Just see, with this mood of a simple mother, Sri Yashoda naturally regards Sri Krishna as her son and chastises him. Shri Krishna is offered worship everywhere else, but when he is in Braj, he is the servant, and the inhabitants of Braj are his masters. On the command of the gopis, he begins to dance. He puts Nanda Baba's slippers on his head and delivers them to him. Under Yoga Maya's influence, he forgets his supremacy and enacts his pastimes as an ordinary human being. This is called Madhurya Leela, Shri Krishna's honey-like pastimes. Although Shri Krishna's pastimes in Braj are full of opulence, that opulence does not even slightly stifle the love that the inhabitants of Braj have for him. Instead, it invigorates their honey-like love, causing it to condense even more. This is the speciality of the love in Braj. The practicing devotee, sadhaka, should also desire to perform activities that will melt Sri Krishna's heart. Sri Krishna will not be able to resist him for very long. He will accept that devotee with his whole heart and immerse him in his own sublime service. Thus ends the Digdarshini Vritti on the first verse. Shri Damodarastakam ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai.
So that ending was so beautiful. His last paragraph of, we have to do things that are going to melt Krishna's heart, and then Krishna will look at us and like, oh, and give us his mercy. So there's a really important point, and I mean so many, but one of the most important points also in this verse is about what's favorable and what is favorable, not favorable. So does everyone here know the verse? Anyavilasita sunyam. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, of course, yes. Okay, homework. Homework. You can learn the English. Homework. You know it? Homework. Homework. So that's the definition of bhakti. What is devoid of? Bhakti is devoid of karma, not gyan, this knowledge, tapasya, austerity, but it's this unmotivated, causeless, in this nutshell, uninterrupted. Like when honey's coming from a jar, it doesn't break, it's like a stream. So that's like this bhakti. And so Gurudev is quoting Srila Rupa Goswami for the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that what can seem favorable and what cannot seem favorable. And with this example, this is the prime example, that Mother Yashoda was more worried about the milk than her own boy. She was making her own milk, he's stealing. She's thinking, oh, it's not, my butter's not sweet enough for him. Why is he being so naughty? He's going to grow up and become a criminal. So I have to take care of him and make my own milk. And so she puts him down. And so people could think, oh, is this favorable? The question is this favorable or not favorable? And in this case, it's favorable because he's her object of love, and she only wants to serve him. So her service is over passing his directly of holding him, and then he uses the example of Chandra and Mustik, the Kamsa's wrestlers that Kamsa sends to kill Krishna. They have this fighting match, and Krishna loves to fight, so he's thinking this is fun, but really it's not favorable because their mood was, oh, we're going to kill Krishna. So this is even though it's bringing pleasure to Krishna, it's unfavorable because the mood is not favorable. So that's important one aspect of the commentary that Srila Gurudev is pulling out from this first verse of Damodarastakam. So, on that note, we're just waiting for our pujari, and we will have. Can you stay for RT? We'll have RT now. Okay, great. How did you know to come here? Long story.
2 years now. I'm from Poland, so
Oh, wow.
I was going to the
Oh, amazing. Wow, nice.
long story actually.
Okay, I'll hear about it. Hillary,
My
go.
mom also
so we hope to see you lots. We have Friday night kirtan, Sunday program, and yeah, we'll get to talk after. I went to Poland once. It's great. 2010. 2010? Yeah. Actually, June 2010. I went with Shamrani Didi, the artist of all these paintings, and I'm sure you've heard of her. She's a legend. One of Srila Prabhupada's first disciples. So we went and we had great programs. Lots of devotees, and it was it was beautiful. So great, we'll have Gaur Arti and then Prashadam. Unless anyone has any comments, question. Anyone? Sure. Oh, there he is.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, there's that part that I read where Krishna was trying to convince the gopis to go back home because of Vedic culture. You know, could you talk about that and how that relates to today? How you know, it's almost like exclusive to. Oh, you did? Huh.
When you say how it relates to today, do you mean to 2025 or to what we're talking about in Damodarastakam?
Yeah, I'm thinking about like, you know, you have the Amish and you have like the Mormons and you have like conservative Orthodox communities, you know, around the world who practice, you know, practicing theists like that.
As we were talking about the mood, so as far as how it relates to today in like a cultural traditional sense, in Vedic society, the most important thing to a woman is her chastity. You know, Srila Prabhupada, we heard how his mother wouldn't even go to the neighbors unless she was in a covered palanquin because it would be so, you don't want to be seen by another man except your husband. Gurudevi talks about how Srila Prabhupada explained that it's so important for a woman to be fully covered because when a man looks with lust, it draws the woman's power away. And so the gopis, what's most important is their chastity. And that's a Vedic standard. And so that's how it relates to in a cultural sense. Though in a mood sense, what we learn from the commentaries is that Krishna's joking with them, and they joke back with him. So like, Krishna knows completely and totally why they are there. He knows that he played clean on the flute and was calling directly to each and every one of them in a way where when they heard the flute song, they 1,000% believed that he was calling directly to them and them alone. In fact, when they were going through the forest, although there were countless numbers of girls there going towards him, they couldn't even recognize there was anybody else there. They were only understood, I'm going to Krishna. Krishna is calling to me, my beloved, who is in my heart, who I'm always absorbed in thoughts about. Although we talk about the gopis and we hear, oh, the gopis love Krishna, the gopis love Krishna, the gopis love Krishna. Krishna's Gopi Jana Vallabha, meaning he's the beloved of the gopis. In like an more like, so to say, external context or within a cultural setting, they aren't all the time like, nobody knows that they're deeply in love with Krishna. Like their husbands don't know they're in love with Krishna. Nobody knows. You know, it's something that they keep very deeply locked within their heart. Externally, they're maintaining this role of a Vedic society, of a Vedic woman, of very traditional religious principles. But internally, everything is Krishna. And so at this point, he has really deeply churned their emotions, especially when he stole their garments at the Yamuna, that it's now built to such a fever pitch that that they and he are ready to perform this Ras dance so that he can drink Ras, because he's Rasik Shekhar Krishna. He loves to drink Ras. He is the foremost expert in Ras. Ras is transcendental mellows. He loves transcendental mellow exchanges. And so he's intentionally doing this, and he knows it. He's not like, oh, oops, you know, I didn't know that would happen. He's like, that's exactly what he meant to do. So when he says that to them, he's also just further stirring their emotions. They then respond to him saying, oh, you're speaking so intelligently. This must mean that you are our guru. And you know that within Vedic society, guru's word goes above even husband. And therefore, we are here, we are your surrendered servants. So like they have playful, loving exchanges back and forth. Does that answer it?
Yeah, it's cool. I appreciate the insight.
Jai, 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 Jai. Kiban Jayon, Jayon, Goda Chande, Radotika Shobha. Janavitatavane Jagamanalobha Tatavane Jagamana Dakshin Nitai Jad Bamegadadhara Nikate Advaita Shini Vasachatradhara Vasi Yache Godajad Datnasimhasane Aroti Karena Brahma Hadi Devagane Nara Hari Adi Kodi Chamadadulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Gosha Adigaya Shankar Baje Ganta Baje Baje Kadatala Madhuram Redanga Baje Paramarasala Bahu Koti Chandrajini Pradana Ujvala Gala Deshe Vanumala Kore Jalamala Shiva Shukta Narada Preme Gada Gada Baka Devi Noda Deke Gora Sampada Jaya Jaya Raja Krishna Jugala Milan Arati Kadone Lalitari Sakigan Marana Mohana Rupa Tribanga Sundara Pitambara Shiki Pucha Chura Manohara Lalita Madhava Bame Brisham Panu Kanya Nila Vasana Gore Rupe Gune Danya Nana Vida Alankara Kore Jalamala Hari Manu Vimohana Varana Ujvala Vishakadi Saki Gana Nana Rage Gaya Priya Narma Saki Jato Chamara Dulaya Chamara Dulaya Chamara Dulaya Vishakadi Saki Gana Chamara Dulaya Priya Narma Saki Jato Chamara Dulaya Chamara Dulaya Chamara Dulaya Vishakadi Saki Gana Chamara Dulaya Priya Narma Saki Jato Chamara Dulaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Nitai Goda Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Goda Hari Bol Shri Radha Madhava Pada Sana Sija Ashe Bhakanti Vinoda Saki Pade Sukhe Base Radhe 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 Govinda Jaya Jaya Radhe 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 Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopalan Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radhe 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe Radhe Govinda Jaya Radhe Govinda 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 Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya 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 Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Ashtasaki Shiromani Radhe Radhe Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Goda Hari Bo Nitai Goda Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Goda Hari Bo Nitai Goda Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Goda Hari Bo Jaya Jaya Guru Dev Guru Dev Guru Dev Jaya Jaya Guru Dev Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Nityananda Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Hari Bol Jai Shishi Guru Granga Hare Shishi Radhamari Ju Ki Jai Shishi Gonitai Ki Jai Om Vishnu Padishtoshita Shishila Bhaktivedanta Banga Samaraj Ki Jai Om Vishnu Padishtoshita Pujaniya Shrimati Shamrani Didi Ki Jai Nityada Prishta Om Vishnu Padishtoshita Shishila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Samaraj Ki Jai Nityada Prishta Om Vishnu Padishtoshita Shishila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Samaraj Ki Jai Nityada Prishta Om Vishnu Padishtoshita Shishila Bhaktivedanta Vamana Samaraj Ki Jai Nityada Prishta Om Vishnu Padishtoshita Shishila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityada Lila Pishta Om Vishnu Pad Stotra Shishila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Hit Lila Pishta Om Vishnu Pad Stotra Shishila Bhakti Santa Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Mahabhagavat Shila Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Satyam Goswami Shila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai. Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Gauriyanta Chare Shila Baladev Vidusham Prabhu Ki Jai. Rasik Shilmani Shila Vishnuda Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Nirtam Srinivas Shaman Prabhu Trai Ki Jai. Shri Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Swarup Damdar Diamond Darishwar Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachari Shahaditas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gauda Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Antadvip Mayapur Samantadvip Kudrumadip Majadip Kuladip Rijadip Janadip Mojdrumadip Rujit Makashnavadip Dam Ki Jai. Ishvara Puripad Manavendra Puripad Ki Jai. Brahma Madhava Gauriya Saraswat Sampradaya Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dvashmaka Shri Brajman Vadam Ki Jai. Shri Madhuvan Talavan Bahulavan Kamulavan Kokilavan Kamivan Elvan Badavan Bandiravan Lohavan Mahavan Gokul Vrindavan Ki Jai. Ashtasakis Ki Jai. Shri Radhakun Shamakun Ganga Himalayan Sabaki Devi Ki Jai. Shrimati Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Purnamasya Yogamaya Ki Jai. Shri Gopishwan Mahadev Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakraju Ki Jai. Shri Shakla Mandala Ki Jai. Sagar Vignath Vinasha Kadishina Shinga Bhagavan Ki Jai. Bhakta Prabhupada Shri Purana Maharaj Ki Jai. Chari Dham Ki Jai. Chari Sampradaya Ki Jai. Chari Acharya Ki Jai. Ankara Mat Raj Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai. Shri Shikesh Shri Gurimat Otat Shakamat Smuha Ki Jai. Sacred Vedic Arts Bhakti Kokosh Center Ki Jai. Granted Rai Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Granted Rai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Granted Rai Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhav Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhaktivedanta Stanti Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Premananda